Hello, my name is Calvin Mims, and for the next few moments, I'm going to be talking to you about the dangers of DUIs, drinking under the influence, and why you should not practice it. First off, it's an unsafe act. If you look to my left, I have a couple of members I want to talk back and forth with about the topic. Right here, I want to ask you, what could you do with $24,000?
$24,000. You buy a new car?
Buy a new car, possibly fill your car up with some gas, maybe have enough left over to get a Happy Meal at McDonald's. Okay, me myself, I'm all in for going out, having a good time, drinking with my friends, things of that nature. I'm not opposed to being in the comforts of my home, having a cold one after a long day's work, or enjoying the football or basketball or whatever season it is. I'm all for it. The problem that I have and the issue that I have is when someone chooses to get involved in dangerous activities such as drinking and driving. At that point, you're putting yourself at risk as well as an unsuspected commute on the road. Okay. Are you in agreement with this, having a cold drink at your house as long as you're doing it in the safety of your own home?
Yes.
Okay. How would you feel if, do you have any kids?
Yes.
How would you feel if you was at home, you was sleeping in your bed, you had a child that was old enough to drive, you've instilled in her all of the safety, she shouldn't drink and drive, and then you get that one call that something has been a significant emotional event, something that's happened to your child through the actions of someone else's unwise decision?
How would I feel?
Yes, how would you feel?
I'll be furious.
You'd be furious, especially if you found out that this guy that it happened to, and we're going to address it later, if you found out he was a repeat offender and he left the scene of the crime involving your child. Okay, like I said, we're going to talk about that. Last year in the United States, accidents related to drunk driving dropped by 2.5%. Now think about it, dropped by 2.5%. Optimistically speaking, I guess you could say that this is a good thing, but me being the pessimist that I am, I say that the numbers can greatly be lowered also. For the next few moments, I'm going to talk to you about the ways that it can be lowered. Okay, first and foremost, you need to have a plan. I like to think of it as plan A, plan B, and plan C. First off, if you're not fortunate enough to have like someone to ride with you that's going to act as your designated driver, the first thing you should be able to do is see if you can get someone that can actually act as a designated driver. If they can't do that, you should ensure you have enough money to get you back from point A to point B. Find out how much it costs to get a cab from point A to point B, whether you're at the club downtown or if you're on post or anything of the sort. See how much it costs to get a cab to get you back to the safety and comfort of your home or barracks room. One of the programs that I'm proud of that the military offers is if you're downtown, no matter how far you out, if you are able to get a cab and you don't have any money, you spend all your money engaging in extracurricular activities. If you can get a cab to bring you back, once you get to staff duty, they have a fund set aside that will actually pay that cab. There's, I believe the amount is $75 to $150. You get the cab driver to give you a ride back to the barracks, and once you get back to the barracks, you go sign in. The person on staff duty will give the actual cab driver his money. Everything is good to go. Everybody's safe, no problems, issues, or concerns. That's a real good thing we have set in place. Another thing that we utilize in the U.S. military is the alert roster. In the event you're downtown, once again stuck, don't have anybody to call, you should be able to call your chain of command or NCO support channel, and they'll come pick you up at your location. Okay. Alcohol consumption, it varies. You know, like I said, I'm not opposed to it, but it definitely varies with the personnel. Believe it or not everybody chooses to drink. First off, if the person chooses to drink, if you feel like that's a wise decision, that's a personal choice. But also, everybody is not of legal age to consume alcohol. If you choose to consume alcohol and you're not 21, you especially don't have to pay the price. One of the other options that you can have that we talked about earlier, you can let someone utilize your vehicle. They can drive you. You're not acting as a chauffeur. The only thing you're actually doing is just practicing safety. Also, you need to know your limitations. You need to know how much you can consume before you blow the limit. You know, we're going to talk about the blood alcohol content. You know, I've been told that there are certain drinks that have at least 7 different alcohols and liquors in them. You know, and like I said, if you consume those, of course, you're going to get inebriated at a faster rate than if you were just consuming like your regular Bud Light or Heineken or anything of the sort. Okay. Moving right along. Is there anybody in here that doesn't drink? Okay, you don't drink. And like I was talking to this individual here, and I'm sure you can relate and you will feel the same way if something did happen to your family, loved one, or friend, if you're practicing safe and then some individual chooses to make an unwise decision and something drastic happens. I'm sure you can relate to that. Okay. On May the 30th, this actually happened to a lady, Candy Littner. May the 30th, 1980, she's actually the founder of the MAD program, Mothers Against Drunk Driving. What happened? She was at home, safety comforts of her home. Her daughter, Carrie, was out and about, and she was actually involved. She was hit by a driver. He was DUI, and the sad thing about it, he was a multiple offender. He actually hit the child. It was a hit and run, and that prompted the mother to find the Mothers Against Drunk Driving. Okay, one of the things that the Mothers Against Drunk Driving does, they lobby against the blood alcohol content before was 0.10. They lobbied to get it at 0.08, and that's the practice that we have now, which is 0.08. But with the military, you don't even have to have a 0.08. If you're exhibiting the symptoms of being drunk or inebriated, then you can also be charged with that. Another thing that they have is checkpoints. You know, you have checkpoints whether you're downtown. We also practice checkpoints here on post. If you, like I said, if you're exhibiting any symptoms, whether you're like smell of alcohol or you're unstable or uncoordinated, anything of the sort. Alcohol ignition interlock device. That's one of the other things that they have. Once you get inside the vehicle or what have you, you have to actually blow inside the device, and then if you're over the limit, the vehicle will not start. Like I said, it's the AID system, alcohol interlock intervention device. But the personnel that actually was lobbying